Let's freaking go. We are chatting Garrett Nussmeier's triumphant victory versus Wisconsin, a film study for the ages. Comment down below your thoughts. We'll do a few defensive snaps today. Obviously, this little wide receiver split zone action is what got Malik his first touchdown versus Auburn earlier this year. We get this play going after some really poor decision-making on the kickoff return that forced us to start deep in our own territory. Something Wisconsin struggled with was offsides penalties. You could tell right here that we were just kind of discombobulated. The timing was just kind of thrown off with that offside, so we just take these yards. The refs did not throw a flag right there, which is shocking. It was clearly offsides, but we still get a nice gain right here on first back-to-back. So shout out to whoever this is clapping on the sideline. I always love a motivated sideline. I think it is something, right? Second thing here is we actually ran this play versus Georgia State, and this was actually Trey Holly instead of Josh Williams, and everybody missed their block outside of BTJ, and I don't know if I have screenshots up of that or not. And the reason why this play is so effective is because of all the gravity Malik Neighbors takes to this side of the field. You got to have a safety over here. You got to have an off corner. This linebacker, of course, is feeling the pain of Malik Neighbors already. So instead of that, we motion Maason Taylor and then we whip him back, and we have numbers here to the left side. So we just have to have guys execute their blocks, and on this very play, Kyle Parker missed his block versus Georgia State, and it's what blew the play up. And right here, he gets demolished. Now, the reason why I don't really care about that is because he actually made the block. Now, it wasn't a good block really at all, but it was enough to keep him to the inside and not let him swoop in here. So that's a good job by Kyle Parker. As a blocker this year, it was a tough year for him. And, it was just a tough year overall for the true freshman receivers, as one has already hit the portal. But that happens with Malik and BTJ ahead of you. And then, obviously, Maason and BTJ had good blocks, and it was a good run right there by Josh Williams. We get to this next play. We get beat. That was a good job by Logan Diggs to see that Maason Taylor got beat right here by this end. And the protection here is absolutely magnificent. Okay, we got a 7-man protection right here. Let's see if somebody can get open. Nobody does get open right here, so Garrett decides to roll out and make something happen. And this is as good as it's going to get at the quarterback position. He eventually finds BTJ open, but he loses himself on the sideline and he's out of bounds. All right, here we go. Garrett Nussmeier, before this he had the unlucky BTJ play where he drifted out of bounds. Really exotic simulated pressure right here from Wisconsin. These two guys are dropping out, and they're bringing two guys from this direction. And what makes this tough is, they're bringing it from the trip side, and basically we're just running deep vertical here, vertical here, vertical here, and the shallow drag has been very profitable for LSU this past season. Jaden hit this to Kyron a lot last year. So this is there, and Garrett Nussmeier, obviously this pocket did eventually collapse, but you do see him drifting backwards. You don't always like that, but he does reset his feet. Offensive line was okay on this first drive overall. It finally does get through, but that's still a good pocket, and you see Kyron is just wide open here for this drag. We want to hit this, right? This is a difficult throw to make. A perfect throw does get it. So you'll see this angle right here. Malik's, running a dig, and this is open to Kyron with no one around him, and that's covered. And this, honestly, is covered. Okay, there's a DB right here. It's a very difficult throw to make. It was there. A perfect throw gets this done, but still, okay, when you're overshooting BTJ, that means the ball is really, really, really high. One big thing about the Garrett Nussmeier offense next year is we are going to have to do a better job of just scheming things way open for him, and this is the floor. So let's chat about the Garrett Nussmeier offense going into next year. We need more plays like this, tight end leak kind of plays. This is the Florida State play, first play of the season that we've broken down a gazillion times, okay? So running back runs a wheel, and we have a tight end delay on a drag right here, okay? So BTJ's running here, Malik's running here to draw all this coverage to here, and we're actually throwing back here, okay? So roll out to the right side, see if the running back wheel is open. It's cut off. I can't see if that's open or not. If it was, Garrett Nussmeier's throwing it because it is the first read. But the good thing is this second read is always going to be open as well. And we get a nice gain on first, okay? Get to the second down play, and it gets stuffed in the backfield because they called a perfect blitz. All right, this guy is blitzing here. This guy is wrapping around. That's just a perfect play call for this play. That happens. There was a lot of penetration right there. It wasn't perfectly blocked, but they just had the absolute perfect call right there. Looks like that was Trey Holly on the carry. Not the biggest guy, so he's not really going to be a pile pusher, but still. Yeah, I didn't understand this. So it's a 3rd and 2. I understand it's a bowl game, and you want to get Aaron Anderson and Chris Hilton reps. I don't know why Malik Neighbors isn't on the field on every single 3rd down, but that's not here nor there. This is there to Aaron Anderson, okay? Did this backer work over the top really well? Yeah, right? Or DB, whatever you want to call it, safety. Yeah, I mean, he is over the top of this, so this isn't wide open, but that could be fit in there, right? It's tough because this DB would be racing downhill, and you're always scared of a pick six. So this time, Garrett Nussmeier does eventually work back to the drag, but, they were all over this. There's nothing Chris Hilton can really do with that. And, yeah. All right, so we get to the Malik Neighbors record pass, and this is just really good quarterbacking from Garrett Nussmeier. Looks left. Protection is absolutely perfect. Good rep right here by Will in particular and Emery. Pocket is just perfect. And look at that ball. Bang. Right where Malik could get it. He takes a really tough hit right there. But that is a record. And that's Malik Neighbors. Just an all-timer. You're looking at an LSU legend, baby. Let's go. So one thing in particular that we've struggled with is just blocking second and third level defenders. So this is actually a good cutback from Josh. But so many times this year, a second level guy would just be waiting unblocked. And I don't know if that's just a design thing, but still. Yeah, so this is just some really, really, really good quarterbacking right here from Garrett Nussmeier. Looks like they're inverting this coverage. Okay, good pocket again. The offensive line had a really good day to start. Bang. Was this open right here? Maybe it was to Aaron Anderson in the slot. And obviously, the next step for Maason Taylor is making guys miss, and he did a good job right there making a miss and gain a few extra yards. So you'll see right here, it looks like he was looking at Aaron Anderson and then worked back here to Maason Taylor. Good footwork and an absolute strike right here in the chest plate for him to pick up a really nice gain. All right, so this is one of the first snaps where you see the big difference between Garrett Nussmeier and Jaden Daniels, okay? So nothing's open, really. Aaron Anderson's running a, deep cross, and this shallow is picked up right here. Jaden is running on this, okay? Once this pass rusher gets to right here and this lane is just wide open, sometimes you just got to take this, right? I mean, this is as easy of a step up as you're going to see. And he feels like he could squeeze this in to Aaron Anderson. The route concepts here are kind of weird as well. And, DB makes a good play on it. All right, so weird sequence of events. So Charles Turner had a false start penalty, and it makes it, 3rd and 15. We get an offsides to bail out this fumble right here by Malik, or by BTJ, excuse me. God, this is good quarterbacking from Garrett Nussmeier. Just take these yards to make it a manageable 4th. Okay, BTJ does a good job making this guy miss, and he almost got out of this. You just got to secure the football, and he might have been down right there. Not going to spend too much time because it was negated by the penalty. All right, so 4th and 1, and I don't get this. This is a bad holdover from the Mike Denbrock era. Okay, we get in 14 personnel. This just has not been profitable for us. I completely ripped to shreds BK and Mike Denbrock for the Missouri ending that we went to this formation. We're taking our best players off the field, and they know more than likely that this isn't going to be a throw per se. All right, this is going to be a run, and they are just going to blow us up here every single time. And the person that gets blown up the worst is Charles Turner. He's got a very difficult block to make. He's got to get all the way over to this 3-tech and zone block him this way. He does get blown up here, but this is just easy way for a defensive line to tee off, and he's the one that actually tackles Josh Williams here. I mean, this is a 5-yard loss on 4th and short. Bad play call, bad formation, bad execution, all of it. All right, so this is what Florida State just killed us on, counter GT, all right? But this is actually an RPO counter GT read where he's reading this player, okay? He sees that this player is not backed up and this space is open. So Mordecai, a very experienced quarterback, sees that, okay? And you'll see that Harold Perkins is just kind of in no man's land, right? He's just standing out here not guarding anyone. I don't know if this is his best position, right? Maybe he is just an every down jack. Not entirely sure. We just need this tackle to be made right here by Andre Salmon. It's not made. And that's why you're called a safety, right? You are the last line of defense. You are the safety defender, right? And we missed this tackle. And right here, if you're Major Burns, you got to do something. We need this tackle to be made right here. And he doesn't even touch him. And it's a walk-in touchdown. This is never what you want, right? At least make them work for their touchdowns, right? Early in the game, we moved the football, but Wisconsin actually made us work. Explosive TDs is what will kill you in games, and, yeah, he's just strutting on us. All right, 2nd and 5, and this is another example where I think Jaden runs this and Garrett throws it, and he obviously does throw it. They actually have a really good defense called for this, okay? We're running vertical here, come back here, okay? And Josh Williams is the personal protector. He comes out here to help with Mason Taylor, but there's an unblocked player coming around this edge. It's just a really good pressure design. And I do think Jaden in this situation is tucking and running right through here. And Garrett, in theory, could as well, because this is very difficult to throw and fit in with this overhang, defender right here. And that's just a very difficult throw. Jaden is getting off of this and running through here. But this is Garrett Nussmeier. It's a different type of player. And this ball location isn't the worst. BTJ kind of mistimed his jump. It is high. He's never catching that. All right, so 3rd and 5. Joe Sona likes to run mesh. Okay, and we are meshing actually our 2 best receivers. Okay, crosser here. This is the first read on mesh oftentimes a running back out of the backfield. Man, I wish he didn't throw it, though. I mean, this is open. Upfield shoulder is open. So if you perfectly lead him, you would like to think that he can turn upfield and get this yard. But 9 right here makes a really good tackle and stops him. And obviously, this is where we want to go with the football right here, because Malik is catching that and picking it up. BTJ's catching that and picking it up. Still, not the worst. So if you listen to the pregame show, I talked about how I don't quite understand the role of the end opposite the jack, right? It seems like we just play with poor technique and just poor football IQ at this position, because it looks like, for me this year, this position just hasn't really served a role, okay? So they're running counter GT, all right? If you are going to box this counter GT, you got to keep your outside shoulder free. If you're going to square it, there needs to be somebody out here keeping this backside contained, taken care of, Okay, I don't know whose job that is. Is this Harold Perkins' job to sit here and pick up these scraps? I don't know. Okay, but you'll see he's actually playing the off-ball linebacker role. So this is one of the few instances where we've seen Harold Perkins play a traditional linebacker role. This looks like this is Omar Speights, so they probably just I won't get into all the minutia here. No, it's not Speights because Weeks is out here. And Harold Perkins just gets lost in it. All right, and this RB just bounces into the space, but you see no edge is set. Okay, so any decent running back, remember, these aren't Wisconsin's best backs. They're breaking through there and picking up a nice gain right there on first. All right, so obviously we don't get a lot of pass rush here on this play action deep shot, but Sage Ryan makes an absolutely ridiculous play on this ball. He actually doesn't touch it. This receiver did have a chance to make this play, but still, it's really good coverage right there by Sage. Excellent. So LSU is in a dire need of a defensive line reckoning, right? We do a good job of, number one, firing off really high, and number two, cutting each other off and running past the QB. Okay, so we're having our three techs swim to the outside. He's getting pushed up the field, which cuts off this rush from this end, and we're actually bringing a second-level pressure right here from Harold Perkins. Since we fire off high with little leverage right here, it makes it that much harder to scrape off and make a play. And I think this is just a QB draw the entire way, and it's just free yards right there we're giving away to the QB, okay? We never want that. That's just way, way, way too easy. All right, so there's a blatant hold up the middle. It's a really good job by Maason Smith to just take advantage of this one-on-one and just get through here, okay? And he gets yanked to the ground, as does a Gufu. He puts this guy on his rear end as well. He got yanked to the ground. Still, all right, we'll get to the throw here in just a second. Sage Ryan is backpedaling here, and, this is just very difficult. Okay, this guy has a full head of steam running a post into this deep half of the field, and Mordecai knows that this safety is going to be occupied by this vertical right here. Okay, so he knows this is open. He just has to buy enough time to get it there. If there was a decent rush or one of our guys not getting yanked to the ground, this is never getting completed. You would still like to see Sage make a play here. What I will say, though, is at least he didn't fall down, and he probably would have made a touchdown-saving tackle if the throw was perfect. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but still. So we get to this 3rd and 13. This was a really good game for me in some spots for Maason Smith. He makes this happen. We really got him comfortable in the Texas A&M game, putting him right over the center. And he just makes this play. I mean, he's coming through this A-gap, getting A-gap pressure. That's what we want. And we actually have Harold Perkins looping around, picking up trash, okay, like a pseudo spy, if you will. All right, so we get the pressure right here from Maason, and now we just need Perk to clean it up, and he's right there to do it. And we want the quarterback who's right-handed rolling out to his left, just throwing balls to no one. I am very shocked, and maybe someone can correct me. He's outside the tackle box, but there's no receiver there. So it's not grounding still. Charles Turner's been pretty good for LSU this year, but away from home has been tough. I don't know what he's doing here, right? Common sense would be you pick him up, guard picks him up, okay? But you'll see that Frazier left Turner to leave this guy unblocked right here. Maybe it's designed for Turner to loop around and pick up scraps here, and then Noah Cain's got to pick this up. But we never want unblocked A-gap pressure, right? We just don't. So this play is just dead from the start. But overall pass protection in this game was really good. So you've seen LSU just eat on this all year, okay? if you are scared of the deep stuff, oftentimes teams like to play something called quarters, okay? All right? But the truth is, this ends up being cover 3, right? So quarters is deep, 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 deep. But 3 is back, 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 hold defender here, or robber, whatever you want to call it, all right? So no matter if it's cover 3 or quarters, the comeback route is always going to be here versus a backpedaling DB, okay? So that's just really good stuff by Garrett Nussmeier, recognizing that, throwing an absolute strike at the sticks, and a good job right here by BTJ just getting upfield and getting this first. One of Garrett's best reps of the season right here, y'all. I mean, just excellent stuff. You know, Kyron, very patient with this route, obviously one of the best route runners on this team. And everything was pretty good. Noah's blitz pickup wasn't the best there, but that's just a really good back shoulder throw. Bang. I mean, just right on the money. It's good stuff. And look at this ball placer. I mean, this corner is right there with him, and right when he turns his head, you hit that back shoulder. I mean, that's elite NFL-level stuff right there. I mean, look at this recognition. So what we did to BTJ to move the sticks, just think of this, but to this side, but to the far side of the field, okay? Instead of the boundary. Go route here, come back route right here for Maason Taylor. Look at this throw and coverage recognition by Garrett Nussmeier. Bang! On the upfield shoulder to Maason Taylor. I mean, you can't really play quarterback any better than that. And Maason does a really good job picking that up. God, it's just really, really, really good quarterbacking, y'all. He is just a really good football player. There's just no other way around it. It's just tough to get carries at LSU, right? He makes that unblocked player miss. He falls forward, and we almost score right here. This is just a crazy run, and you can make a case he got in. So I love this. If you're going to run these tight sets, get exotic with it. Don't get predictable with it. All right, you got Caleb Jackson and Harold Perkins. You don't know if it's a handoff here. You don't know if it's a handoff here. So where was this on 4th and inches earlier? Huh? Good block right here by Caleb, but man, this is a great run right here by Harold Perkins. I mean, this guy is unblocked right here. Bang! I mean, think about his first ever carry for LSU. Him taking that on, getting across the goal line, not fumbling, and just smoothly getting – that's just ridiculous. So LSU's red zone defense really struggled, right? And you'll see right here, one thing Blake Baker will see on film is in the red zone – we would have a tendency to let guys get open in the back of the end zone, okay? That's a really good throw by Mordecai over Weeks. I'm not sure if Weeks or Penn should have carried with him to the back, but still. And look, it's been an unbelievably busy week when it comes to the Blake Baker news. Obviously, Bryce Underwood, that's a big story. But ultimately, as it is with most teams, it's going to come down to if Garrett Nussmeier is going to be a big-time quarterback next year. I think Blake Baker is going to make the defense at the very least decent. They may not be elite in year one, but I think he's good enough to get LSU to where they are a competent defense. Can Garrett Nussmeier be a plus at quarterback? Well, yes, you have mistakes such as this one. I'm actually going to defend him on this interception. So the ball should have gone to, once again, the shallow drag right here to Malik Neighbors, but there is only 40 seconds left, and you do want to push the football down the field. So obviously, he does a good job resetting, gets in this pocket, and he throws on the run. You hit this to Malik. He's probably gaining 7 or 8 yards right here and getting out of bounds, but he decides to throw this football late to a player right here, number 2, who was tied for the NCAA lead in interception. So this was more so a good play by the DB. Only Garrett Nussmeier's interception was at the end of the half where he was trying to get some points. I can live with that. Right, so believe it or not, you would think that a simple 6-yard run would be something I wouldn't spend a lot of time on, but I want to talk about Javian Toviano. Had a really good grade on him coming in, and I want you to see where he's actually lined up. He's actually lined up as a pseudo safety, and we are not properly aligned at the snap. No surprise. They are running counter GY, or is this? No, this is actually counter GH. The H-back is pulling right here with the guard. All right, so we're not lined up properly, and they have this play blocked near perfectly. All right, they kick out this in, they get a double right here, and look at this hole for him to run through. Omar Speights is getting blocked right here, and I want you to see this tackle right here from Javian Toviano. This is ridiculous. Running back has a clear head of steam to get through here, and watch this. Bang! Okay, not only does he wrap him up perfectly with the shoulder, head across, this running back gains no more yardage after this. So, you'll hear me on film studies talk about we lost the minimum there. We lost the minimum amount of yards there, right? There was more than 4 yards left on the field, and keep in mind that this ball right here ended up squirting out because of Toviano's really good tackle, but they marked him down, okay? And the ball did come out way after the fact, but that is elite play. So what does he do as an encore to follow up with that? Well, he's man-to-man right here to the outside, and they're going to take a shot, and that's what they should do. Once again, nobody's getting off blocks. Everything's just perfect pocket for him. So look at Toviano. Stick with his guy. Pin him to the sideline. And, God, it's just really good coverage right there. 2 amazing reps back-to-back. Okay? All right, so now we get to third down. We show pressure, and we back out of it. Not my favorite thing in the world to do. Okay? Big mistake right here by Maason Smith. Okay, right here when you get to this spot, you honestly just need to find the football and just stay where you are and just pick up whatever second, wave run that could come through here. You see that he makes a move to the inside, and this allows him to squirt out here, all right? And then Womack was late to spin off this from the offensive tackle, all right? Clear one-on-one situation for Womack, and you'll see that he can't get off this block, all right? Gets a little chip. Once you get to right here, we need you to stop and spin quickly back to the inside, and he's just not able to do it. And this is just too much time right here for Mordecai to break this, and he actually could have run for this. He finds a wide-open guy, and they pick up an easy first down. All right, so I know it's a little pixelated. We got to have a discussion. I even tweeted this out about this alignment. Look at how far back our nose tackle and defensive end. We keep doing it, and no one's asked Brian Kelly about this. And you'll see, Savion Jones just gets absolutely mollywopped by this double team. And you'll see Wingo's able to eventually beat this block, but that's just too much surge up the middle, okay? And Wingo's one actually ends up making the tackle. This is just, I know his job is to play the quarterback, but it's clear the quarterback doesn't have the football. Your head should immediately snap to this gap right here that obviously we're not doing a good job filling here to the right side, and we just need Major Burns right here to make this tackle. Okay, Guillory needs to do a better job right here. Once he feels this, we need you to get off and fight back here, all right? Still, Major Burns has got to knife in here and make this tackle, and he just loafs. I mean, what is this? Okay? And untouched. All right, so we get to Garrett Nussmeier. We pick it up in the middle of this rep. The protection is absolutely perfect. This is actually one of the all 22 clips we broke down on Patreon. This throw by Garrett Nussmeier looked very simple, but it was also very, very underrated. You need to go check out the All-22 breakdown where I show you what actually happened defensively on this play. Good stuff by Garrett to eventually find it and pick up a nice gain. We then get to here, and This is honestly a very simple read right here by Garrett Nussmeier. Once he sees that this safety is right here, he's just trusting BTJ to burn the corner. The pickup, once again, is excellent. So, as good as Garrett Nussmeier was in this game, the offensive line was even better. And you'll see Garrett perfectly lead BTJ. And look, Garrett has a great arm. And like Jaden Daniels, he had an issue with underthrowing some guys at time. That time, of course, he leads BTJ to perfection. So the guy who won the game for LSU was Maason Smith in the second half. They made an adjustment to putting him directly over the center and just him making plays. This is actually something we did at the end of the Ole Miss game where we put a heavier set Mekhi Wingo, a DT, going up against a tackle. That's a new, different type of matchup. And we overloaded one side with two lighter pass rusher type of players, and you run a little game. So you tell Maason Smith, no matter what you do, you shoot the A-gap, and you have Harold Perkins whip around there. That was something I would have liked to have seen more from Matt House this year. So Maason gets the pressure. Wingo does as well, and they force the sack along with Harold Perkins. That's good stuff right there. All right, so we move ahead here to this 3rd and 1, and let's see what happens here. Man, this is excellent stuff right here by Garrett Dellinger. All right, I want you to really focus on how difficult this was for him. Okay, so he's got a guy in his A-gap. That's where we're trying to run the football. It's just straight up the gut. He takes him on and then is still able to seal this small gap. Will Campbell picks up this blitzer, and look at how tiny of a hole they create, but they still create it. That is very difficult stuff. I can't tell you how high level that is right there to give what looks to be Noah Kane a first down. That's just really good run blocking right there on the left side. All right, so Sloan does something smart here on this first down. It worked last time to BTJ. This is just a situation where Brian Thomas Jr. is our best wide receiver. Remember, Malik didn't play in the second half. And Garrett just did one of those F it, BTJ is down there somewhere type of throws. And he forces a pass interference. Good stuff. All right, so here's the trick play. And Garrett, I think, took a little too much heat for the lack of execution here on this trick play because the timing is all thrown off, right? Good job by Josh Williams keeping it alive. Dangerous right here from Kyron Lacey. So you got to make this catch, and now you had to see where this guy was coming from, and you wait till the very last second to let this thing rip. I'm shocked he had the arm to get it there. Now, I know you could make a case that he should have just thrown this right here to Aaron Anderson, and this is open to Chris Hilton, but it just didn't work. And as you'll see, I mean, this was open. Could Garrett have let this go a little bit earlier? Maybe, and a little bit more accurate? Maybe, but still, it sucked that this didn't work. Good job by Kyron and Josh for keeping it alive. All right, so we pick it up here in the 2nd and 10. Once again, the protection's really good. And I don't know if this was a comeback route the entire time or if the DBs were just playing off of him. And he decided to stop, and it's just an option for Kyron. But no matter what the case is, he makes a catch, and he makes this guy miss, and now it's off to the races. Makes another guy miss, and he falls down. Good. You'll see it right here. After he makes him miss, you can make a strong case that he probably should have just got vertical, but he tried to cut back on this player as well, and you'll see that the knees just bang. Boom. That hurts. And, they don't wear knee pads anymore. The pads are up to their thighs now. So when you don't wear the knee pads, that's what happens. All right, so one thing that Joe Sloan did a good job of is giving Garrett Nussmeier some layup throws as well. And this play design, we've run this a few times. Missouri has been the master of this play. So it's a quick look to the left and a rollout to the right. And the design of this is to just get it to the running back running into the flats. The reason why this play call is so brilliant is because, for the most part in this game, Wisconsin had been dropping back into deep zones, and that opens up space underneath. So that makes this play so easy. This is the play that we tried to run to Caleb Jackson versus Ole Miss, and he dropped it. It's just a brilliant, brilliant design. And this is after the Kyron Lacey injury. It's just good stuff, okay? I believe this is Bobby Barham, one of the recruiting assistants. Once again, I love clappers on the sideline, baby. Good stuff. All right. Just a really well-designed play. One of the things that we had a lot of success with were slot fades. This is kind of a scissors version of it, where Kyron's running through here to create some traffic, but you still got to beat someone, all right? Now, was Chris Hilton out of bounds on this throw? I believe he was, but even if that is the case, look at where that ball is placed. Absolute perfection. I don't care what the replay said. He's in. They looked at it. They still gave it to him. It's so tough to see it from here. But I did see a photo. I actually think this is from the LSU football account where his foot was out of bounds. But they called it good. And that's all that matters. All right, so we will break down this next drive by Wisconsin. First thing is LSU gave up a long kickoff return. And now we get to here. All right. Now, once again, no pass rush. All right. Just not a whole lot. This is a good counter move right here by Savion Jones, but it's a little too late to be bending this edge right here on the other side. That's not bad right there from Magufu. But Mordecai hits this receiver who burns Javian Toviano. I do want to make one thing clear, though. And this was the case for the Auburn game, and I showed you a deep pass in the Auburn game where LSU probably should have gotten a review or forced the referees to review. I went back and looked at all the replays on this, okay? It is questionable that he caught this football. This was a good job by Toviano after he got beat to get his hand in here and force this catch to be unbelievable. I do know that this ball hit the ground. All right, so I'll let you decide. Did Toviano force an incompletion right here? Kind of tough to see from this. It does look like this ball hit the ground, and there's still some fighting right here. So this pylon shot right here, if we get the replay, we're getting a replay of the pylon and the ball right there, okay? Before Toviano, of course, wipes it out. This kind of gets cut off right here, the camera angle. And, yeah, it's just tough to really see. It is up to you to decide if it wobbled. LSU was the worst red zone defense when it comes to touchdown percentage in the SEC. And, man, he elected to do a pull read right here. And it was a good pull read because he would have been dominated. Weeks is almost able to make this play, and this was a good job by Major Burns fighting his way back into this play right here and make it a huge play. So we get to this 3rd and 4 right here for Garrett Nussmeier, and, you know, this is just good protection yet again. I did not like this decision from him. So there is a deep safety right here, and as you can see, he is shaded towards this hash. So you feel pretty good about Aaron Anderson right here on a go route to throw the football to him in this space. What I prefer to do on 3rd and 4, this is a lower percentage throw, is to take advantage of this one-on-one right here to Chris Hilton. And before we show you the throw, I do want to show you that this would have been there. Okay, it just would have. You know, Maason Taylor is covered right here by multiple players, but Garrett elects to take the tougher throw, and you'll see he puts it right on the money. It's just he was staring him down the entire time. That allowed the safety to get over here and prevent Aaron Anderson from making a spectacular catch. There's really nothing Aaron can do about it, but it just adds to his overall frustrating year. Now, would you like to see him still come down with that? Sure. But That's just a good play by the safety, good clean hit, and they make a huge stop. All right, so we pick it up here on this 3rd and 8, and, we're just not getting any rush on this 3rd and 8. Everything's just stopped. We brought 2 players as well, and they hit a deep back shoulder throw for a huge, huge, huge gain. All right, so we move ahead to this 3rd and 10, and it's Mekhi Wingo and Maason Smith who make the big plays here. Running a little twist stunt to the inside, and they both create a lot of pressure here. Mekhi Wingo does a good job actually bending here, and this is a bad sack by Tanner Mordecai. You just can't take this sack right here because it obviously forces you to punt, right? Any positive yardage, you can go for it on 4th, or you could kick a long field goal. But Wingo just makes an absolutely massive, massive play to force a punt. Here we are, LSU backed up in their own territory. Perfect punt. They down it, and we start things off with the nice Josh Williams run. And to me, the best offensive lineman in this game was Garrett Dellinger. I mean, he was just so freaking good. He gets the important second-level block to give Josh all this room to run through, and we are already cooking. This is nitpicky here, but looks like he led with his helmet. Looks like some helmet-to-helmet action there. Still. Alrighty, so we won't spend a whole lot of time on this one because we do have the all-22 breakdown of one of the best throws I've seen an LSU quarterback make in a big moment, right? A fourth-quarter game-winning drive. You've got to check out the all-22 to really get the processing that Garrett Nussmeier had to do to make this happen. That looked very simple, but I guarantee you it wasn't. So sign up now. Every new Patreon member gets a Joe Burrow card in the mail. Let's go. So this is last film study of the season. If it's in your heart's desire, I think someone's going to drop a $20 super on a premiere right now. God, I love doing these Sunday night film studies with each and every one of you. It's going to be a long off season. We'll still do some Sunday night film studies, and of course, we'll still have our regular Sunday night live streams. This is just a simple go, and Garrett Nussmeier underthrows it. Okay, Chris Hilton has his guy burned. I still don't know how he made this catch. This is absolutely freaking ridiculous. Look, he didn't even see it. Okay, to really appreciate this catch, watch this right here. Okay, there's no way he can't see the ball, and he's just reaches his arms out here, catches it while sliding down, while getting kneed in the back of the head. He just brings that in. That is absurd. And I wasn't able to see SportsCenter top 10. This had to have been on there. This is one of the best catches in college football this season. Okay? He might have been able to see it. I don't know. Let me see. That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous stuff right there. Good job by Chris. Garrett Nussmeier, my favorite throw from the ReliaQuest Bowl was his final one, the touchdown, to get the dub. First thing is you don't see him getting everybody lined up. There was chaos, and LSU wanted to check into this play. Okay, so first off, Garrett getting everyone lined up was very freaking impressive for a guy making his first start. Okay, the second thing is the protection. It was really good. They bring 2 second-level players right here. It is a 6-man protection for 6 men coming on the blitz. Now, before I show you the throw, I want to show you something really quickly. So this is very similar to Garrett Nussmeier's situation, okay? Deep in the red zone, around the 5-ish yard line, actually around the 2 here. We're getting everyone lined up to get into this play because Jaden sees pre-snap that this is 3-on-3 over here, and you'll see that we're trying to do what you're about to see, okay? Kyron Lacy going up here and trying to create traffic for BTJ to come underneath it, and you'll see that it's open, okay? It just took a while for it to develop, and Jaden got off of it and decided to throw this football to Malik Neighbors, and bam, this was one of the few misses Jaden had during the course of the season, and we still almost completed it there. So now we get back to here, and we're running the same thing, okay? Now, I don't have the All-22 on me, maybe this did get open to Chris. Honestly, this got open to Kyron, but we want to throw this football to BTJ. That's where the ball should go. And Garrett actually makes the throw, waits for it to develop, and bang, we're scoring a touchdown. Chris is probably open back here because both the defenders went for BTJ. Still, that is an absolutely ridiculous throw, absolutely perfect protection, and some really good quarterback play. All right, here we go. Got to get off the field. Got to make some plays. Got a Harold Perkins in a pass rushing role. We got Deshaun Womack in a pass rushing role. And we're just not getting anywhere. So, as you guys know, eventually Maason Smith wins us this game. But, for me, these two in particular are big parts of our program moving forward. Deshaun Womack here, Harold Perkins here. These could be your two marquee edge rushers in Blake Baker's scheme. And I will say at the beginning of this rep right here from Harold Perkins, there is a hands to the face right there. Okay, so that's missed. It's also tough to see because it was so quick. And at least Perk is doing something new. He is trying to do a swim move right there. And, at least he gets his hand up in the air to do something. Womack on this side does get doubled, but still just not much of a move or a plan right here. And Stamps gets back-shouldered here. Obviously he was playing through injury, and I hope the surgery and the recovery, goes smoothly. But it's a big gain right here. And Brian Kelly's been asking for a push-off game all game, but they're not going to give it to you. Womack, obviously, as well. But one thing is just rushing with four like this just never really was fruitful for us, right? When it's one of these situations where we're clearly just rushing four people, it makes us static and very predictable. Here we're just playing like just very soft zone coverage. And if I was Greg Penn, I would probably stay with this slot receiver, but he lets him go. And that's just easy pitch and catch right there. Now, I don't know the zone rules. I don't know if Major Burns should have been in there a little bit more. The issue afterwards is the tackling, right? We miss two tackles there, and finally Andre Sam brings him down. All right, here we go. It's 3rd and 4, and you guys have been asking for more press coverage. Well, if you get beat over the top, it's the game. So if you play press right there, the comebacks are going to be there right at the sticks. And this time Toviano slips and falls. At least he gets up and he makes the tackle. Very, very, very unfortunate for him. I thought the coverage was okay there. But you see, he's frustrated. All right, here we go. 1st and 10. You might be wondering why we focused on the defense. It's a new defensive coordinator. Well, outside of Jordan Jefferson, these other three guys are slated to be back. And once again, we're just not getting anywhere. Outside of Maason Smith and Mekhi Wingo, we just couldn't generate any pressure, and this crossfield throw is completed on Sage Ryan. I'm actually okay with that throw being completed. We just don't want to get beat over the top, force them to convert in the red zone. All right, 2nd and 2. On the field, okay? This is really good stuff right here by Savion Jones. Yes, is it a high get-off? True, but he just generates pressure right here. It's not a lot, but he collapses his pocket, and that's a hold. That's got to be called, okay? So, normally I'm lenient on lineman holding calls, but when you're grabbing that much jersey outside the frame, that's a hold. Then Jordan Jefferson gets off his block, and you'll see that everything was run deep. So the offensive play call kind of sucked as well. You had been killing him on short comebacks this entire drive, and you give Mordecai no options. He still shouldn't take a sack and force a turnover right here. We just got to fall on it to end this game, and we're not able to. It would have been nice to see. I love Ovia Gufu. He's been on the channel before. It would have been nice to see him get that game-winning fumble recovery. All right, here we go. It's 3rd and a mile. All right, we get the first unit defensive line back out there, and we aren't lined up properly. right? You want to know why Matt House doesn't have a job? It's because of this. Now, what is my major takeaway? Who cares if you aren't lined up properly? This should have been your main pass rush the entire season, because Maason Smith from a zero tech decided the game versus Texas A&M, not last week, but the game before this, and he decides it again here, all right? I also like the fact that the defensive backs are up on him, right? You could still bail out, just don't give them anything quick, because obviously they want to hit something quick to make it a manageable fourth. Maason Smith, perfect swim move. Even though he wasn't in a stance at the snap, he just swims. You can't do it better than that. And, of course, practically unblocked A-gap pressure is the best pressure. So you see, none of the other three guys were in stances ready to go, and Maason is still able to generate that much pressure. Wingo does a good job helping to clean this up. And, Wingo gets the sack, but that was all Maason Smith, okay? And look at him waving at the crowd. That is absolutely freaking insane. But obviously in this situation, you want to stick with the play because they could have ruled this a fumble. It wasn't. Obviously, he's just throwing it away to see if he can avoid the sack. But I could have also seen them calling that a fumble right there. So now it sets up 4th and 25. Perfect call by Matt House to end things. All right. They've got to gain all these yards. More than likely, you know that they're going to run some variation of a long throw. All right. So guess what Matt House decides to do? He brings everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys are right here, and somebody's just going to get home, right? This is not a case of anyone just beating a block. This is 6v5, and that's actually good protection. Let the deepest guy actually go. And because there was no shallow routes, this is a sack that Greg Penn should make every time, and he does, and that's the game. Now, obviously the big focus on this is Garrett Nussmeier, where he was nothing short of incredible. I just can't say enough good things about how he closed out this game, and obviously Blake Baker's got a lot to work with. I am really excited for more Garrett Nussmeier film studies during the offseason. And, yeah, I appreciate all your super chats during film studies. We have a playlist set, so if you guys missed any film studies during the course of the season, you're able to go back and look at it. Obviously, a lot of change that'll be happening in the next couple of weeks, but good stuff. And hopefully, Maason Smith, if you're watching this, please come back because we need a big-time pass rusher up the middle back next year, and he would definitely provide that. And no man improved his stock more than Chris Hilton going into this offseason. What a bold performance. So let me know what you guys think down below, okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! Look at this. Jaden and Nuss, baby. Yes, sir. And tonight, we're doing some Cajun seafood pasta, baby, with andouille sausage. Let's go.